Welcome back to the Live Desk. Now, the BBC's Director General Tim Davies being called before a House of Lords committee, along with the corporation's acting chair, all to answer questions on his handling of those Huw Edwards allegations.
Meanwhile, mental health charity Mind has called for Huw Edwards to be given the space to receive treatment. GB News' Homes and Security Editor Mark White can bring us the latest from outside Broadcasting House, or New Broadcasting House. Mark, a little quieter today there, but plenty of discussions going on inside the BBC.
Yeah, I mean, it's enormously difficult, this story, of course, because no one wants to worsen the mental state of Huw Edwards following the revelation from his wife yesterday that he'd taken a very bad turn, having suffered from severe depression for a number of years and was hospitalised. And, you know, he will be in hospital, according to his wife, for the foreseeable future. So clearly people are concerned about that. But having said that, there are allegations that need to be explored now by the BBC, now that it has been freed up by the Metropolitan Police, who are not going to bring a criminal investigation in this case. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, in his news conference about the pay awards, was asked about this, and, you know, he delicately answered the question as well. Let's listen.
The reasons that everyone is aware of, this is an incredibly sensitive matter, and what I'd say is that the BBC is going through its process of fact-finding and establishing what's happened. The right thing is for them to get on with that, and for us to give them the space to do that and recognise the sensitivity of this for all involved. And there's nothing more than that I can or should say, I think, at this point.
Mark, we've got the internal inquiry now resuming in the building behind you into what's a fact-finding mission, they say. But clearly there is still outside interest too as to the way the BBC's handled this. And we've got the DG, the acting chair, the head of policy, all appearing before a House of Lords committee next week to answer questions.
Yes, and it might be difficult for him to answer very much about the ongoing investigation by the Corporate Investigations team, as you would imagine, given that they are in the very early stages of assessing what are now a number of allegations. But I think the issue that perhaps he can touch on in a bit more depth, because he did talk to it to some degree earlier in the week when he was launching the BBC's annual report, and that event was hijacked really by all of the questions which were on this particular issue around Huw Edwards. He did say that the initial complaint that was made on the 18th of May by a family member, the mother of a person who they believed was vulnerable and was being paid money by Huw Edwards to send explicit photographs, that, they say, was a serious allegation, regardless of whether there was any criminality at the end of the day, and it should have been acted on in a timely manner. But we know, of course, there was an email sent the next day. They didn't get a reply from the complainant, the family member, and of course they tried one phone call, which was 2.5 weeks later, and then nothing else was done.
Yeah.
No other emails, no telephone call to the complainant, to the family members, to try to chase this up, until the Sun approached the BBC with their story. And it was only at that point as well that Huw Edwards was told about the very serious allegations that had been made some 7 weeks earlier.